So you're moving to South Florida and the Fort Lauderdale metro area and super excited about your upcoming move and all the great things that you're about to experience once you move there. And there are tons of great things to be excited about. But there are also several things that could be an absolute deal breaker. So do not move to the Fort Lauderdale area unless you can handle these negatives. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So stick around. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, Living in Fort Lauderdale. My name's Rob Zeoli, and I'm a real estate agent right down here in the Fort Lauderdale metro area. Now, if this is your first time here, welcome to the channel, and please subscribe down below to the channel and tap that little bell icon to be notified anytime that I go ahead and post a new video. I put out weekly videos and content about what it's like to move to and to live here in South Florida. But more than that, guys, I am a local real estate agent, and what I love more than anything is to help people just like you with their real estate needs. So if you have any questions at all about any of the areas that we speak about in these videos, you can reach out to me 24/7. I answer all inquiries directly. All the texts and calls and messages come directly to me, and I cannot wait to hear from you and help you with any of your real estate needs. And without further ado, let's jump right into the video and see if you can handle these 7 negatives before you make your move here to Fort Lauderdale. So these are in no particular order, guys, but let's start out with the first thing that I think you really need to know about when moving here to Fort Lauderdale, depending on where you're coming from. So if you're not from here, it's definitely going to be the weather. So let's just say in the summertime here in South Florida, it is extremely hot and you will sweat. Now, I know there are other areas that are hot as well, say Texas, Louisiana, and I'm not going to give out any particular temperatures. It is just extremely hot here in the summertime. Now, I did another video entirely on the weather here in the Fort Lauderdale area in South Florida. Now, there should be a link popping up somewhere about that video. It goes through month by month, temperatures, and is much more detailed. But the bottom line, guys, is in the summertime, you will sweat, and it's going to be a huge adjustment for you when you move here. So this is really going to come into play, say, depending on what you do for a living. If you're going to be working outside, extremely tough during the summertime. Usually the way we do it down here is you're jumping from one air-conditioned space to the next. So you're in your home, the AC is always kicking, jump into the car, it's always on in the car, and usually wherever you're going to wind up, unless you're outside, is going to be air-conditioned. Now, they say that as you live here for a while, you actually get acclimated and used to the heat, and that might be true a bit, but I just think you get a little bit wiser on how to live with the heat. So I mentioned the weather in a few other videos that I've done, and I got kind of like a comment regarding this, because I was talking about when I first moved here. As a realtor, you go on appointments and you want to look good, so I would, try to go out with a suit and to these appointments until I learned my lesson. So basically, you're in your house, you get ready, you get dressed, you're looking great, you walk to the car. By the time you get to the car and get the AC running, you're already starting to sweat. You go to your destination, and hopefully the person you're going to meet is like you and they have the AC pumping, but it does not always work out that way. So I was talking about how I was in the appointment and I had sweat coming down on my face, and it was just very uncomfortable. So I kind of learned my lesson and know that during the summer I'm going to adjust my attire when going on these appointments. So I remember getting a comment, and I think it said something along the lines of, "Cute story, and anyone that shows up to an appointment in a suit and tie is not a real realtor." So full disclosure, I am a real realtor. I've been really selling real estate down here in South Florida for a decade and a half. Now, I also know several realtors that wear a suit and tie on every single appointment. It's part of their business. That's how they do it. And I can tell you right now, they are real realtors and they really kill it. So it does happen. The only point I was trying to make is that you're going to adjust your attire as you live here for a certain amount of years, because you're going to get used to it. You're going to know what works and what doesn't. But listen, bottom line, in the summertime, it's going to be hot. You will notice it. You will sweat. It's just a matter of dealing with it. Okay, another thing about the weather here in South Florida is that we have hurricanes and a hurricane season. So late June to the end of November is our hurricane season, and that's when we have all our tropical storms and possible hurricanes and also a lot of rain. So you can really think of it like this. South Florida has two different types of weather, I guess you can say almost like a season, is you got the summer and the wet weather, and also you have the beautiful weather during the winter. So in a nutshell, you can expect during our summer seasons here in South Florida for it to be extremely hot and wet at times, and also the possibility of getting hit with a hurricane. And during the winter months down here, guys, is the best weather. It's gorgeous. And this is going to bring me to number 2 on our list of negatives, and that is all the tourists. So during the winter months, South Florida is much drier and has absolutely beautiful weather. And a lot of people come from all different areas throughout the country to escape their harsh winters and enjoy our beautiful weather. So you can expect the weather from, say December to early June to be in the mid 70s to mid 80s, and just absolutely gorgeous and also very dry. Now, along with the tourists, we also have a lot of seniors down here in South Florida. So there's really two different types or populations of seniors. And those are the ones that come down here during the winter that have, say, a second home to escape the harsh winters where they live, and also the ones that have already retired and live here full time. So there are numerous adult or senior communities all throughout South Florida that offer amazing amenities, and obviously with the nice mild weather, it's no wonder why so many seniors call Florida home. Now, what you're going to notice during the tourist season, because of all the extra people that are here that don't normally live here, is a lot more congestion and a lot more traffic during the winter, during tourist season down here in South Florida. Now, this is my segue to the next negative in the list, and that is our bad drivers. Now, I've always tried to figure out, what is the deal with these bad drivers down here in South Florida, and never really knew until I actually did research for these videos. And this is also another reason why our car insurance premiums are so high. I think we rank 3rd in the country for car insurance premiums, and they list the reasons as a lot of uninsured motorists, but they also have weather. Obviously, for our hurricane season, cars can get damaged from flooding or debris and branches falling down. And another reason they give are what they call high-risk drivers. And they categorize high-risk drivers as college students, tourists, and seniors. So picture driving behind one of these types of drivers. You have the college student that's driving around and kind of does not know where they're going. So every street they pull up to, they're looking up and down to see if it's the right area. You also have the tourist who doesn't know the area as well, and worse than that, they're really not in any rush to go anywhere, so they're just cruising around taking their time. And then you have the seniors. Now, I have nothing at all against seniors, and this is not me categorizing them as bad drivers, but it is an obvious part of life that as the body ages, you lose a step. I mean, look at me. A couple of years ago, I had to start wearing reading glasses. And, I do wake up every day with a new, little pain in my body somewhere. So, we lose a step and our reflexes go as we age. I mean, all you got to do is turn on the television at night and look at our president. I mean, it's obvious the guy's lost a step or 10. And, I'm not very political and would never say anything bad about the president, but I can pretty much guarantee and bet everything that I have that the president is probably not the best driver in the world. Now, another negative you might have to get used to, depending on where you're coming from, is the walkability, or should I say lack of walkability, here in South Florida. Now, I get asked this all the time from people that are calling and are relocating. They want to know which area is the most walkable, or they want to live in a walkable area. And here's the thing, guys, if you're going to be living here in South Florida, you will need to have a car. Now, the state of Florida is not a very walkable state, but every city down here has some little walkable areas. You know, areas like downtown Fort Lauderdale, Flamingo Park, Delray Beach, but it's nothing compared to the walkability you might get living in a city or coming from a city like, say, New York or Chicago, where it's much more of a city atmosphere or a downtown city type atmosphere. Another thing, guys, is that the public transportation in those areas are much, much better than we have here in South Florida. So in those areas, you could actually go walk down the street or a couple of blocks to a place and go shopping or get a bite to eat, hop on a subway and do the same thing in another city and then come back home. Whereas down here in South Florida, you might have an area that's kind of walkable. You might walk down there to get a bite to eat or a cup of coffee, but you know, you're really not gonna be able to walk anyplace else. You'll be walking back home. But if you ever want to go out and do any traveling or sightseeing here, you're gonna have to have a car. And finally, guys, if you're going to be moving down here to South Florida, you're going to have to get used to dealing with a bunch of different critters. So down here in South Florida, you're going to have to deal with fire ants, mosquitoes, alligators, iguanas, frogs, toads, snakes, ducks, and a bunch of other ones as well. Now, as far as the ones that can have an effect on your home, let's start out with termites. Now, there's two types of homes down here in South Florida. There's the ones that have termites and the ones that will have termites. Now, the thing about termites is a lot of times you won't even know you have them. You know, if you happen to see some droppings, they look like kind of like coffee grounds, or like, say, a wing or something like that, you might know that you have them. But most of the times people have them, they don't discover it until they're actually purchasing a new home. Now, a couple of maintenance tips for you when you're owning a home down here in South Florida is to pay attention to the exterior trim on your home. Now, the vast majorities of the homes here in South Florida are going to be concrete block construction. So there's not really that much wood. I mean, obviously inside the walls and in the attic. Now, as far as on the exterior, the only wood you're really going to have is the fascia board that wraps around right under your roof, or maybe some trim around windows indoors. But you need to pay attention to these areas and make sure that they're painted and sealed. Now, termites eat wood and they love moist wood. So if you have an area of your home where the paint is old or peeling and it's bare wood and gets soggy, that's a magnet for termites. And we also have these big, I think they're called cane toads. They are poisonous to animals, so definitely something you want to watch out for. But we also have iguanas and ducks, and you know, they might not seem like a nuisance, but if you have a pool and you live like near a canal, they can be extremely annoying. Now, where I live in the city of Plantation, the ducks, you know, can be even more annoying because our city does not use trash bins. This is another weird thing that I've talked about in some videos about the city of Plantation. Cannot figure it out. The rest of the county uses trash bins, but we use bags. And when you put them out at night for trash, the ducks love coming and eating through your trash and, you know, just making a big mess. And also iguanas, they love to hang out on people's pools and take the sun and poop all over the pool coping, so they can be extremely annoying. So the iguanas down here are classified as an invasive species and they are a nuisance, so it's legal to eliminate them, but they are quite annoying sometimes if you have a pool on a canal because you're constantly cleaning up poop on your coping. So there you have it, guys, and I think I gave you more than 7 negatives, so I think I deserve a thumbs up. YouTube likes that. It helps with the algorithm, helps the channel grow, and I'd really appreciate it. And hopefully I gave you something to think about, and this way you know ahead of time some of the things that could be quite annoying and that you might have to deal with when moving down here to South Florida. And as much as I like to make these videos, what I love more than anything is to help people just like you with their real estate needs, or to help them find that perfect place they might be moving to or just want to go see. And all you have to do is get in touch with me in order to do that. So it's very easy to do. My number is down below. I respond to all the texts and emails directly, all the comments, all the messages, and certainly got your back when moving to South Florida. And thanks for watching the video. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.